Okay, this is my audience. These are my note cards. And here we go. Okay, so you know that skill that you always wished you had, but you never actually learned to do? Like maybe you really wanted to play the piano, or you wanted to become a good tennis player, or maybe you thought about learning another language. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about the third of those, learning another language, and one of the most important languages in the world, and a language that's becoming more vital every day in the United States, and that's Spanish. So Spanish can help you in your career, preparing for your career, just everyday life skills. And I've taken it for 8 years. I plan on minoring in it as well. And due to my research and my experience taking Spanish, I feel qualified to talk to you all today about why you should learn Spanish. So first, I'm gonna go over some economic benefits to learning Spanish, then psychological benefits. Third, I'm going to talk about the U.S. Growth with the language. And finally, I'm going to talk about my own experience and my future with Spanish and how that can relate to you all. So first, we're going to talk about the economic benefits. And essentially, any source will tell you that if you are bilingual, you are more likely to get a job. But I got that from weform.org. Written by Rebecca Callahan in March 2015, and she was an associate professor. She's an associate professor at UT Austin. So not only are you more likely to get a job, you are more likely to get hired and maintained by a Fortune 500 company if you are bilingual. You also are more likely to succeed at virtually every step of the qualification process. So that goes with graduating high school, graduating college, and after you interview, actually getting the job. All of those stages, you are more likely to succeed if you are bilingual. But I'm not just talking to you guys about being bilingual today. I'm talking to you about learning Spanish. And so Spanish specifically is really important in international business. According to Fluentu.com on March 9, 2019, written by Stevie D, a Spanish culture blogger, 44 countries have at least 3 million Spanish speakers. And so, if you want to be a liaison to a base of a foreign company, then you've got, 44 countries worldwide where there's probably going to be a large set of Spanish speakers. And also, Spanish is really important in international business because of the resources located in Latin America. There's a ton of oil in Venezuela, soybeans in Argentina, and copper in Chile and Peru. Those are just some examples of predominantly Spanish countries that due to their natural resources, have a ton of international business flowing through them. So now that we've talked about economic benefits, we're going to move on to psychological. If you have a second language, you're actually just going to have a better mental state overall, and that's according to allpsych.com on June 22nd, 2015. Amy Kolodziej, who was a writer and consultant, and a managing director of Art Consultants, which works with global industry nonprofits. So your mental state's going to improve, not just like increasing everyday mental function, but you also decrease your chances for dementia and Alzheimer's, two of the worst mental and memory-related disorders. Second language also improves your ability to have empathy, and especially understand other cultures. And that's according to ripeapp.com on May 6, 2020, it was updated. Furthermore, with the, better quality of your mind, better quality of your emotions, you also have a better chance to fall in love. And that's, not just to your increased capacity to feel, but also due to the fact that there are 57 million Hispanics in the United States. And that's according to worldpopulationreview.com, updated annually. So now that I've talked about economic and psychological benefits of learning Spanish, I want to talk about how the Spanish language is growing in the United States. The U.S. is actually predicted to be the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world by 2050, according to multilingual.com, updated on January 9th, 2019 by Dan Burgess, who founded the Burgess Institute, which is a school in Chicago and New York for teaching adults to learn Spanish. So not only are we going to be as big as that by 2050, we've actually had a 233% increase in Spanish speakers and Spanish people in the United States since 1980. And 95% of those Spanish-speaking adults in the U.S. say that they want their kids, the future generations, to continue to speak Spanish. So it's not just important to learn because of yourself, it's important to learn for your kids and for the future generations that want to maintain that Spanish culture and continue to speak Spanish. Spanish is by far the most spoken non-English language in the U.S. It's not even close, but that's according to PewResearch.org, September 5th, 2013, by Mark Hugo Lopez, who's the Pew Director of Global Migration and Demographic Research, and Ana Gonzalez Pereira, who also researches for the company. It's also important as far as the growth because it's not just about immigrants anymore. Americans, English speakers, are becoming increasingly interested every day in learning Spanish because they want to keep up with the times. They want to follow the cultural shift. And they're not just, it's not just immigrants. It's everybody who is learning the language, and you're not just keeping up with the Hispanics, you're keeping up with, white Americans. And that's according to embracingdiversity.us on March 28th, 2017 by Dania Santana, who's a diversity awareness expert. So now that I've given plenty of reasons and background about the growth of Spanish and why you should learn Spanish, I'm going to talk to you about my own experience and give you, be an advocate for you. So I've taken Spanish for 8 years, and what I think is that it's no different than learning math, science, or history, or any other subject. It's difficult at first, but with reinforcement, with, learning a particular concept multiple times, you're going to get it. And contrary to popular belief, it's not just one of those skills that only some people can have. I believe that anybody can learn Spanish, anybody can learn a second language, and, there are going to be plenty of people who are going to tell you otherwise, but it's not as hard as those people think, and I think with commitment, anybody can learn it, and truthfully, the commitment is absolutely worth it. I'm going to become an English teacher in my career, but first I'm going to teach teach English in a Spanish-speaking country for a year. I think it'll be a good resume builder as well as a good teaching experience at a young age. And I think, I'll be up with the times. Like, obviously, with the increasing numbers of Spanish speakers every day, there's probably going to be some Spanish speakers that I encounter that I'm teaching. And I want to be able, if Spanish is their first language, I want to be able to give them the same teaching experience that I can give everybody else. So I think it's going to be a really vital part of my career. But I truly believe that it would be a really vital part of any of your careers if you took it seriously, because pretty much all fields can use it. And even if they don't for some reason, then it's going to be the perfect special skill to be on your resume. So, I hope I was a good advocate for Spanish today. I hope you all learned something, and I hope you all at least consider taking Spanish. Remember that there are economic benefits, psychological benefits. Spanish is growing in America every day, and you have a personal testimony from your friend and classmate, me. So what more could you possibly need? Go out today and learn Spanish, and if you don't, your kids will probably outsmart you by the time they're 7. Thanks.